What's going on, guys? Vulkan here, and today we have some huge news coming to New World. So we have an official PTR public test realm coming to the game, and this is a monumental shift for New World. So as you know, there's been just exploits, bugs, issues, and just so many things just wrong with the game, all piled on top of each other, and it's brought into question the quality, the QA process for the game and whether or not they even have a QA process, because there's just been so many things that have been messed up and not working. So a lot of players brought up, you guys should have a PTR. That way a lot of players can get in there. We can start tearing things apart and figuring out whether or not something needs to be tested a little bit more in depth or tested for a longer period of time. And they decided, you know what, you guys are right. Let's go ahead and get this thing done. Now, we have some fantastic stuff coming in the PTR this first time around. I'm just going to roll through it. I'm not going to take too much of your guys' time. I'm just going to go through and kind of skim through the highlights here. So right off the top, we got this nice picture of the Void Gauntlet. So they talk about the PTR and what exactly it's going to be. Now, there are some key things in here that we need to know and understand. So first things first, by the end of today, which is the 9th of November, everyone with a copy of New World will have the public test realm application added to their Steam library. So if you own New World, you will have access to the PTR. Now, however, there are some caveats. This is a first come, first serve basis for slots. And I don't mean some people will have access to PTR and some people won't. What I mean is, just like launch, there will be queues and all that type of stuff. So we need to keep in mind that you might experience long queue times because there's not a ton of servers and server shards set up. These are going to be opening up tomorrow, November 10th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Now it says here servers are limited, so there's only going to be one world available in US East and one world available in Central Europe, so keep that in mind. Now, another thing to keep in mind is to help with the feedback process, all newly created characters on these worlds will have the opportunity to instantly level to select level ranges outfitted with appropriate gear and items. Because a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about affects both low level, medium level, and high level ranges. It's not just stuff for end game, which is really cool. So this is something that I think is going to help us a ton. It's going to give the players a lot more interaction with stuff before it reaches the game, and I am here for it. So let's go ahead and scroll down here. Oh, by the way, there is a new PTR sub forum, so make sure to jump out there and leave feedback, all that fun stuff. So first thing, boom, new weapon, the Void Gauntlet. We got like a full-blown energy sword looking thing here, straight from Halo. It looks beautiful. So we will actually get our hands on the Void Gauntlet in the PTR, and I'm very excited for it. So this is something that we've been looking forward to for a long time, right? It's been data mined. There's just been a ton of info on it. And now we're actually going to get to use it and figure out how it truly works. So it is a magical DPS and support hybrid. It's the first weapon that's going to scale with both intelligence and focus, making it a great pairing for the life staff and other magic weapons. It has the Annihilation Tree that focuses on maximizing damage at close range and revolves around the Void Blade, which is, you can see it here. Then the Decay Tree offers ranged healing and debuffs and revolves around the Orb of Decay, which is a dual phase projectile that will debuff enemies and heal allies. We talked about this a lot in our data mining conversations. So this is something I'm really excited for because it really kind of fits into that Affliction Warlock style of play. Plus the Void Blade thing is just super cool. We've seen this with Wolcen. We've seen this with some other action RPGs out there as well, where you kind of channel the Void into blades around your arms and you can just slice things up. So very excited for that one. Then we also have new missions and mobs. So first things first, in this section, we have the new enemy types. So we have these guys here that we're going to be dealing with. So new dangers have landed on the southern shores. The Varangian raiders have sailed down from the north and have brutally carved out sections of each territory to establish a base of operations. From war camps on the beaches of First Light and Monarch's Bluffs to an entire fort they've captured in Everfall. You're going to face off against hewers, scouts, knights, and archers ranging from 16 to 20. So this is really cool because one of the things that we see with New World in general is a lack of enemy variety. I'm playing the Lost Ark technical beta right now, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen people mention, wow, I've been through 2 zones and I've already seen more enemy types than I saw throughout all of New World. So that is something that people pay attention to, and that is something that I think New World does lack in. So having these new Varangian raiders is going to be a really cool addition. Hopefully they have brand new skill sets as well, so we'll need to learn their new abilities and all that fun stuff. But I think this is going to add just a little bit more spice to the mix, so I'm excited for that. Then they actually just dive headfirst into enemy variety all in all. So reinforcements have arrived. Be on the lookout for new enemies. We have the Withered Swarmmancer, which looks really interesting. I like any sort of Mancer type classes or skills. So a Swarmmancer sounds really cool. It's like, oh no, the bees, who knows? We have a Beetle, the Lost Shaman, a Pirate Alligator. Please tell me this is an alligator with like a pirate hat. I need it. I need it in my life right now. We have the Ancient Guardian Pyromancer, and then the Enhanced Corrupted Laborers. So these additions will bring new unique combat encounters to our lower level open world experience. So again, making the early game a little bit more, bringing some more variety to early game. Then we also have new enemy quests. Okay, so what brings these new and ruthless visitors to our shores? Well, it looks like they added a new NPC named Abigail Rose to Western Everfall, and she's going to have one of 2 new quests available, which deal with the arrival of the Varangians. And their motives for coming south may remain a mystery. One thing that seems clear is they're just an expeditionary force. So this is really cool because this is kind of a foreshadowing to maybe the first expansion, where we're going to have to go north and travel through the Brimstone Sands to go figure out why these Varangians are coming down south. Then we have new legendary weapon quests. This makes sense, right? We have the Void Gauntlet. Obviously, we need some new quests to go along with that. So they mention here, once you hit level 60, makes sense, and you reach maximum skill level with the Void Gauntlet, players can seek out the Antiquarian Abington in Reekwater and to start their epic endeavor. So you will need to have completed Magicai's Stratagem in Shattered Mountain and Legatus Fulvius's quest series in Reekwater. So there are some prerequisites here. And again, this really kind of goes into people saying, what do we do in New World now? What are we supposed to do now? You know, there's not enough content. Now we're starting to see a little bit of what we are supposed to do. Having completed these kind of quests ahead of time is going to allow us to jump straight into new legendary quests that arrive. And that's going to be very important because I can see it now. Man, now I have to go through all of these quests and this is a drag and blah, blah, blah. So that's something to keep in mind, that completing these things ahead of time is setting you up for success rather than it being viewed as just a waste of your time and effort. Improved main storyline quests. So for those of you that remember my everything that's wrong with New World video that I put out a few weeks ago, one of the big things I had in there was questing and how awful questing was, and the fact that quests were just so beat to death. I mean, it was loot chests, kill enemies over and over and over and over again. So they decided, you know what, you guys are right, let's go back to the drawing board on some of these. So quests in the main storyline have been improved with new task types and quest variants. We're going to have wave events, which I'm okay with, you know, protect against 10 waves, blah, blah, blah. Destructible objects, go here and destroy this barrel, and proximity nodes for tracking. And you'll see some of these as you progress through the story, and more improvements are still on the way. So this is one of the biggest things I think in this entire article, is the fact that so many people very much struggled with the questing structure and the just boring quests themselves in New World, that people aren't even seeing level 60. They're not even getting to level 40, I would say. It's just a true grind. And by having different storyline quests in here, it's going to make that a little bit easier. Then PvP faction missions. So our goal here is to add more variety for PvP players. Totally get that. Makes a lot of sense. So 3 brand new PvP faction mission types have been added. In addition, almost all PvP missions now reset on death rather than being forfeited. This is something that I think needs to be underlined, bolded, italicized, highlighted, because that was something that really drove me nuts about PvP missions. Sure, you know, I get the kind of risk reward thing of it, and that's fine. You know, I don't mind if I die, things reset, but it was really annoying that they would forfeit and I would have to go back and pick them back up. I would much rather them reset, and it's like, oh man, dang it, now I lost all my progress, I have to start all over again. So I would much rather have that. It's just one of those little tiny quality of life things. So I'm glad they added that in there. They also mentioned that the poach missions have been removed for a better PvP experience. So they added in control points. These missions will send you out to capture control of forts, which I think is really good, because right now I don't believe there's anything other than players saying, hey guys, we need to capture the forts, that truly drive you to interact with forts. We have intercept. This one's going to be really cool because this is going to help push some of that flagging and world PvP, and it's going to make things a little interesting. You're going to have to defeat enemy faction members and collect their tears, which I love that they're tears. You know, salty, salty tears, such sweet tears. And then we have war camp loot. Retrieve hidden plants at the enemy war camp. So these war camps are pretty interesting, right? Because if you go up here and look at the Varangians, it says they're setting up war camps on the beaches of First Light and Monarch's Bluffs. So I'm curious if those are going to, if they tie together, or if this is going to be something completely different. And then we have the new trading post experience. So this is something, again, that a lot of people complained about. And this also really drove a lot of players to establish one particular territory as the trading hub. And what that did was 2 things. One, the whole population of the server kind of funneled into that one area, usually being Everfall because it's centralized. And then whoever owned that territory, whatever guild faction owned that territory, they were making exponentially larger amounts of gold than any other territory. You know, there were some posts on Reddit where Everfall was making 5 million gold, I think, a day or something like that. Whereas other territories and things were barely, you know, scraping by. Maybe it's 30K, maybe it's 20K. So it was huge, right? It's so unbalanced. And a lot of that came from trading posts not being linked. So they decided, you know what, let's link these things together and let's make it a more holistic experience. And so that's what they've done. So all your trading posts are now linked and unified. You can buy and sell the same items from any trading post in the world. Now there are some differences, right? Your fees for buying and sell orders are defined by the settlement that you're posting from. And additionally, any transaction taxes on purchases you make are defined by the settlement in which you're making the purchase. So items listed in the sell orders will expire. That expire will return to the settlement from which they were posted. So that system is still in place. But if I'm in Morningdale, I can see stuff that people post in Windsward and Everfall. And again, it just makes it a better experience overall, to be honest. There was nothing more annoying than going to Morningdale and trying to buy a gem or, you know, some sort of resource, and you either see nothing there because no one posts in Morningdale, or you see something listed for like 10 times the price there because they know it's convenient. So I do think this is a really good update, and I think it's going to help a lot. So the last thing to touch on is the PTR FAQ. So how do you access the PTR? Again, we talked about this earlier. This will be in Steam. Please go look for it. It's going to be New World PTR. Can I play with or transfer my live character? No, you cannot, but they did say that occasionally they'll provide their playtesters with special accommodations such as instant levels, special gear, etc. This is most likely what's going to happen with the Void Gauntlet and with the legendary quests. So we'll be able to have a level 60 character, most likely kitted out with a level 20 Void Gauntlet to be able to test it out and truly dig into it. Can I provide design feedback regarding what's included in the PTR? Of course. I mean, our main focus at this point is improving quality, although we'll appreciate any feedback you have to share. Always leave feedback. Even if they say don't leave feedback, because they will take it and they will stow it away in a folder if they need to. So cool stuff down here. Honestly, this last one, can I remove the app from my library? I hate being in the PTR, and they give you instructions for hiding the game. So overall, guys, I think this is a really, really strong start, and it gives us a lot to chew on when it comes to what we can expect for new announcements and new things coming to New World, right? It's going to function just like the World of Warcraft one. The PTR will open up. We'll be able to dive in, check out some cool new stuff, provide a lot of feedback, maybe some directional type stuff. And then at that point, we can also create content around it. So there's a whole bunch of really kind of neat things we can do here. And I think this is the right step. Now, I know that there are some individuals who might not like a PTR and they don't like kind of the overall feeling of testing stuff for individuals. But at the end of the day, they don't have 1,000 players, 1,000 employees looking at and quality testing everything, right? They just don't have that. It would be impossible, or very expensive rather, to have a 1,000-person quality assurance department making sure that everything is working appropriately. Instead, get people who are passionate about the game, open up a PTR, have them jump in and just break stuff for you and tell you this isn't going to work or this will work. So cool stuff here overall, but I want to hear from you guys. So let's jump in the comment section below. What do you think about the PTR, and what are you most looking forward to? Is it the Void Gauntlet, the new missions, the new PvP stuff, the updated quests, the new enemies that we get to fight? Let me know in the comment section below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. This has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you guys next time.